Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So it appears that Representative Al Green is at it again. This week on a Sirius XM radio interview, The Black Eagle, he started arguing that the president doesn't need to commit a crime in order to be impeached, and Congress can impeach the president for behavior that impacts society negatively. Well, here's the truth. Number one, he is correct on that. Articles of impeachment don't have to be brought forward as a trial. Articles of impeachment can be brought forward because of suspicion of crimes and misdemeanors. However, as President Bill Clinton found out, articles of impeachment can be introduced in the House and passed, handed to the Senate for trial, and the Senate can fail to convict and the president continue to serve out the rest of his term. This happened to President Clinton in the 90s, and apparently Representative Green has forgotten this, which I find really bizarre because he's a Democrat from Louisiana who currently lives in Texas's 9th District. That's right, Huston. He is your House of Representatives member. And he has been calling for the impeachment of President Trump on the floor of the legislature since May 17th of this year. That's right. Before anything had even gotten settled in the first 180 days, he was calling for impeachment of the president on this House floor. And I'm going to cut to a clip right now to show you. This is a clip from C-SPAN.
I rise today, Mr. Speaker, to call for the impeachment of the President of the United States of America for obstruction of justice. I do not do this for political purposes, Mr. Speaker. I do this because I believe in the great ideals that this country stands for: liberty and justice for all. The notion that we should have government of the people, by the people, for the people. I do it because, Mr. Speaker, there is a belief in this country that no one is above the law, and that includes the President of the United States of America. Mr. Speaker, our democracy is at risk. Mr. Speaker, this offense has occurred before our very eyes. It is perspicuous. It is easy to understand. Mr. Speaker, we are talking about a president who fired the FBI director who was investigating the president for his connections to Russian involvement in the president's election. Mr. Speaker, this is not about the president firing the FBI director because he was investigating someone else. It's because the FBI director was investigating the president himself. And after firing the director, he went on to let us know that he considered the investigation when he fired him. And then he tweeted language that would be intimidation or a warning, an admonition, very strong to say the very least. Mr. Speaker, we cannot allow this to go unchecked. The president is not above the law. It is time for the American people to weigh in.
Well, the rest of the speech kind of goes on like that, and so that I don't end up with a copyright violation, I'm not going to play any more clips, even though this was C-SPAN. However, I am going to include a link in the description to the full recording from C-SPAN 3 of this impassioned lunacy. This man is a barred attorney. That means that he is a member of the Texas Bar Association. I want to recommend to any of my Texas viewers that you need to get together and get this guy out of office. I mean, he seems to think that a floor vote of impeachment would get rid of the president. And that's not the way the system works. The floor vote for impeachment initiates a trial by the Senate. And assuming the Democrats could even get the majority vote for impeachment, it would still then have to go to the Senate for crimes and misdemeanors, an actual trial. Now, granted, the evidence of proof for crimes and misdemeanors is much lower than the evidence for a felony in a federal court. But obstruction of justice, he gives no hard basis for it. And he continues to claim that no crime need be committed, just divisive rhetoric can have a president impeached. We've never had that happen. The only president who has been impeached was President Clinton, and he got off, even with perjury, without being removed from office. And Nixon resigned under the threat of impeachment. He was never impeached. So the idea that just bringing a vote to the floor and getting a successful vote for articles of impeachment would get rid of President Trump is actually lunacy. Also, there's an individual record from governmenttrack.org in the description. Please check this guy's record out. You can see all of his information about his activity in Congress all the way back to 2005. And the Breitbart article below that brought this whole thing to my attention, which has information about the Sirius radio interview, are all in the description below. Thank you all for joining me. Please remember to upvote and follow me here on VidMe, or join me over on BitChute, Patreon, Minds.com, Twitter, and Gab.ai. I'm also syndicated on YouTube still, for however long they'll let me. Thank you all again, and have yourselves a great day.